What's your advice to men who want to be good fathers, but they
Yeah.
What's your advice to that man? You can't see it.
Alright, look. I say that to say this, right?
You already know what it is, man. This is Fred with the I Say That to Say This podcast, brought to you by M3S3. Appreciate you pulling up to check out this new episode. But listen, to help this channel grow, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe.
And don't forget, the members get exclusive content.
You already know. Hope you enjoy the show.
We here. You already know what it is, man. Look, before I add my guest up here, you know, this is a different type of interview. You know, it's the first time we doing an interview like this, but I feel like actually it's the second time. Our last interview like this was with 607 Unc. A lot of y'all showed a lot of love with that one, man. That one's almost at like 50,000 views. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting us. Continue to like, continue to subscribe and comment. We're going to keep giving y'all different types of content. Now, y'all know on our show, we always talking about relationships and things like that. So I just figured that this right here would be the perfect time and the perfect person to bring on. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't wait. I was excited for this one. So let me add her on here with no further ado. Let me get her on here. Hold up. It's my first time doing it this way, y'all, so bear with me. You know, we usually do it in person. Hey, boom. Yeah, we good right there. Boom.
Hey, Fred!
What's the deal?
What's happening, Fred? What's up? I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm super
excited. I'm ready. I'm fired. Let's get it.
I love it. So hold on. Let me give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? You know, we like to do this with our show when you're in person or not. So since I got you here, we're gonna do it the same way that as if we would have did it in person, right? So I should have did it before I brought you on, but we're gonna say
put me back down. Put me at the game, coach.
Let me put you back. See, this is my first time using it this way. I've been interviewed on this, but I've never done an interview on this, so I don't want to remove you.
With it.
If I hit remove, are you gonna be gone for good?
Nah, I'm gonna stay up. It's okay.
Just stay up. So look,
stay up.
I want to welcome a 4-time author, certified counselor, #1 female advocate for men, a relationship strategist, mental wellness warrior, and a recipient of the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for her fearless work in challenging stereotypes and bridging the gender divide. I want y'all to give a warm welcome from your house, Char Curry, Cher Curry. Welcome to the show. Now look.
Thank you. It's Char. You got it right the first time. It's Char. You got it right the first time.
Char, I got it right the first time. My bad. So how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you. How are you? How was your day?
My day has been good. Can't complain.
Come on.
You know, normal work day. Getting to it, making moves. You know how I go, man. My day start at 3 a.m. So I'm in the gym at 3 a.m. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? After 3, I'm making my content. You know, I'm making the corporate moves, the clothing brand, the podcast, everything I got to do. So, you know, I'm outside, but I see you. Today we're here to talk about you. How has your day been?
It's been amazing. You know what? I make it what it is. You know what I mean? I don't feel like any day's ever a bad day. I make it do what it do, and I do it well. So you know what I mean? Listen, whatever happens, and I just keep my own perspective on it, and that's always gonna be positive.
I like that. So let me ask you this, right? can you give a little bit of backstory? So, how? Let's take it back. I like to take a walk with the guests, right? So, I want to take a walk with you. Tell me who you are. Let's start around high school. Like, who are you? Are you in trouble? Are you smart? Are you like what you got going on around
In high school, I'm so outgoing. I'm bubbly. I'm the life of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Very outgoing. I had a ton of friends in high school. But that was when I began to come into myself. You know what I mean? I didn't start late. I started way early. So, I'm already self-aware in high school. You know what I mean? I'm already being the encourager. I'm already being the backbone of the friend group. So, I was already a leader when high school came.
Okay. So from there, I mean, you graduated. Did you do any extra schooling after that, or?
I did. So I'm a certified counselor. So I did do some college.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, it's a lot of life's experiences. That's the best teacher that I've had, honestly. And the fact that my great grandparents raised me.
Oh, okay. So mom and dad wanted in your life or what?
You know what? My mom was in and out because she was off doing her own thing, and my father was killed when I was 7.
Oh shit! Sorry to hear that. Was that to like gun violence or like what was that? What was that about?
The San Jose Police Department killed my father.
Which police department?
San Jose Police Department. That's California.
So you from Cali?
Northern Cali.
Damn. I mean, how old were you when that happened?
7.
7. You remember that?
You know what? I remember because my mother wasn't living in the house with us at the time. I remember getting a letter from my mother and my sister, reading it. And then she started crying. She gave it to me. And so, that's how I found out. My mother wrote me a letter.
Damn. Did that shape or did you grow up traumatized at all with that?
Very much so. And the trauma came out, Fred. Honestly, the trauma came out in anger. I was 0 to 160 quick. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. I was ready to get it with anybody. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Yeah. So my trauma came out in a lot of ways in anger. So
what was your relationship like with your mother?
Like I said, my mom was in and out. You know what I mean? That was during the 80s. Okay, Fred, what you got in your cup?
A little something,
A little thumb. Well, cheers to us.
Oh, hold on. Matter of fact, before we start our show, I always start the show like this. So hold your glass. Repeat after me. I'm not above you.
I'm not above you.
I'm not below you.
That's right.
I'm right here with you.
You know I got that.
Oh, come on.
I'm from the Bay. That's what we do.
Okay, so moms was in and out.
So mom was in and out. That was during the 80s. You know what I mean? So that was when it was freebasing. It was crack. Like that was when that spread throughout California, right? So, she was in and out. But I'm grateful that she chose to, make sure we were stable with my great grandparents. So, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change it for the world because we got morals, standards, values, and manners. The 4 foundational things that's what they gave us because they were already older. They were already retired once they got us. So that being said, I was always around wisdom. Always. I was always around wisdom. And so I soaked it up like a sponge. And, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly.
I think that a lot of time when kids grow up like that without let's just say without, right? It shapes them in a way. It either makes them, like you say, you were angry, right? At one point you were angry, but then I also hear a side of you that says, you're grateful. And even when I talk to you now, I don't know if we'll get to this, but I don't know if this was through the therapy or through your schooling, but you seem very light, like very, you may have stuff on your shoulders like everybody else, but you just seem very appreciative, very easygoing, positive. The glass is half full. It's not half empty. I get those vibes from you, right? So I wonder, did that shape you into this person? Like after that anger period you had, did something click and made you go this way now?
Right. So how I came to my, my aha moments, if you will, is I realized that my parents, they did what they could, right? And so what happened was I carried a lot of anger and resentment and bitterness towards them because I wanted that in my life. And I felt like as much as my great grandparents were there and they gave us a solid foundation, they didn't give the nurturing aspect of things because they were born, in the early 1900s. So there wasn't a lot of affection back then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like I grew up deprived of that. Right.
Mhm.
So I made it a point when I was, 12 or 13 to always love on other people and always encourage other people because I felt like I didn't have that. So I wanted to be the one to do that for other people. I wanted to make sure they were filled up. And the thing that helped me the most is forgiving my parents. Like, even though my father was already gone, I had to spiritually forgive my father, my mother. I was praying one day and whether you believe in God, Buddha, the universe, whatever you believe in, God told me, he said, you need to forgive your mother. So my mother was across the street at the hospital, and I went and sat at her bedside, and I asked her for forgiveness for the things I had said and done. And I told her I forgave her for everything that happened. And that is when I became a better woman, a better person, a better mother, a better individual. So I was able to release that, and the floodgates opened like so much. I was no longer angry. I no longer looked at, my mother and my father as the problem. They were actually my solution.
So around what age did you forgive them, if you don't mind me asking?
I was, and this was a process for me, because I felt like I had already forgiven them, but I didn't release them until I was in my 20s. There's
So
a difference.
you released in your 20s, but when was that first forgiveness? At what?
Around 18, 19.
18, 19. Was something going on at 18, 19 where what made you start to forgive them?
Yeah, I was really coming into my purpose and the spiritual side of myself. I was really journaling. I'm an avid journal. I have like 30 years worth of journals, so I'm always bettering myself through journaling and stuff like that. I love it. I love it. So it was me, really digging my heels in and figuring out who I really was as a person, and who not only who I was, but who I wanted to become. And I no longer wanted to be angry. I no longer wanted to be full of bitterness and anger and rage. So that was, my first bout with forgiveness. And ever since then, that's what I walk in. I walk in forgiveness. People could do. Listen, you can do whatever. I'm gonna forgive you. I don't got to mess with you, but I forgive easily. I forgive very easily because I'm not going to carry that. I'm not going to carry it. I'm too much of a, I'm too much of a light. I'm too much of a spirit that God uses to bless other people. So I can't carry that stuff with me.
Right. So what's the difference between forgiving and releasing?
Okay, so I feel like forgiveness is like surface, right? Forgiveness is when you're like, okay, yes, I forgive you. And maybe you don't bring it up, but when you release them, you release that heaviness and that burden that may have come along with it. Because so many people right now, I know I'm feeling right now, there's people out here and, like they're carrying that burden of their mother or their father or both not being there, or their grandparents hurting them. And they walk around, they're so miserable. They're either depressed or they're anxious or they're angry, or they got insomnia. They got all kinds of things going on. They got psychological problems, and they don't even realize that if they would let it go, it would lighten their load. But a lot of people don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? So like I said, it's a process. It took me a while. But at the end of the day, it's one of the best things I ever did, because now I'm the woman who I'm supposed to be today, because I no longer carry the heaviness and burden of somebody else's spirit or something, transgression that somebody did towards me. I can't go back and change it. I live in the now and for the future. I don't live back there. I won't ever do that.
Right. So, I know it's a long process. Can you give us, what does it look like to begin releasing somebody?
For me, I would look in the mirror, and I operate out of a spirit of gratitude. So I'm always going to be grateful and thankful. So I would look in the mirror, and I would talk to my mother and father as if they were right there, and I would release them. I would say I forgive them, but then also I would journal things out. So and sometimes I felt like things would come back up in me, like this bitterness or this unforgiveness, and so I would write it out. I would get back in the mirror. So until you feel the release, when it releases off of you. I felt so light after. My spirit felt light because I was so angry. I was mad. I was angry. I mean, I used to fight people. I used to chase people. Yeah.
Chase.
Yeah.
You was
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
You was
yeah,
running people down.
Huh?
You was running them down.
A couple of times. I mean, allegedly. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. You know what I mean? I would act out. I ain't gonna hold you. I would act out. I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, because I know a lot of people are trying to get to that. You know, that they've been done wrong by somebody close to them, by family, and you know, it's easy to say, you know what, I forgive you because I just don't want to deal with it. But then as time goes on, sometimes after you told that person you forgive them, it circle back around. Like you see him again, or you see him online, or you hear about him, and then it's like, yo, I really don't fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? Like it come back. So I'm like, how do you fully let that go?
Because this is the thing, and you this is the other thing that let me just say this: you have to be willing to let them go. Some people are in denial that they need to let go, and some people don't want to let go yet. And you've heard people say, "I'm not ready yet," and you got to respect that. Yeah, I respect it when people say they're not ready, but at the end of the day, you don't want to keep on being miserable. They're not even worried about you. Mm-hmm. So when you say that, it's a form of PTSD. You know what I mean? So it's a form of trauma. It's a form of like flashbacks coming, or you hearing something, or something is a trigger. But you got to keep at it, and you'll know when it releases. Mm-hmm. You'll no longer feel that anger towards them, that bitterness towards them. That you no longer carry you. Let me say this really quick. For me, I look at people spirit to spirit first. Exactly. Spirit to spirit is you looking at them with your spiritual eyes instead of looking at them yes, you see them in the physical, but you look at them spiritually. And for myself, like how my gift works, I operate out of words and knowledge. I operate prophetically. I operate with discernment. So I could tell you, like after the show, we're gonna have a hoop. I'm gonna tell you a whole bunch of stuff about you, a whole bunch of stuff that's about to come up business wise. I promise you. Okay. But so and everybody's gift works differently. So I have the discernment to see people spiritually. I have the prophetic gift to see people spiritually. So I can I live in Vegas, right? I'm walking around. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes when I have like family in town or whatnot, and stuff, I start to hear stuff. I start to see stuff on people, and I walk up to them. 2 minutes later, they crying in my arms, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, how did you know this?" Like, so not everybody has that ability, but the way my spiritual gifting works is that I see people spirit to spirit. So it's and you can, and this is the thing, people can pick up on that, but you have to come out of denial first, because if you're still looking at people as, oh, they did this, oh, they did that, then you're not seeing them for who they are spiritually. Like when I see people, I see the hurt, I see the brokenness. So I'm not gonna treat them in a certain way. I'm gonna operate towards them in love, because love breaks down all those barriers. But people want to be so mad nowadays and so miserable. But a lot of times the underlying thing of it is the fact that they haven't done their work, their internal work. They don't know who they are. They don't know what their journey is supposed to. They don't know what their spiritual gifting is. They don't know what their purpose is. So a lot of people walking around mad at the world or mad at their spouses just because they don't know who they really are inside. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. So with the spirit talk, right? Do you believe that, you hear that when you have sex with somebody that you're swapping spirits? Is that something that you believe in?
I've heard of that. I believe certain things to some degree, but I feel like you're speaking in particular to, you know what I mean, when they talk about the man laying down with the woman, and if he releases inside of her, then she picks up certain traits, and that's what a lot of women that have had multiple partners, or many, then they'll start to psychologically run rampant, if you will. And I have looked at several videos and done some research, and scientifically they say it's true. So it and also people talk about soul ties. You know what I mean? So
soul ties, yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. So is
that a real thing? Or?
I believe it is. And you know what I mean? I feel like you can always speak things into existence with your mouth. And so And even this is something that I've practiced where it's like, and it's a simple thing where I give so-and-so back their stuff and I take back mine fully. We are no longer linked. We are no longer, I release them to themselves. I take back what's mine. So, it just depends on what you believe. If you believe it, then it works. That's the way I feel about it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people are tied to people through a physical connection. And hey, Sean, through a physical connection. And, they do end up going through these mental and psychological cycles that actually run them crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
I wanted to pick your brain on, a few things. A lot of people sent questions in. I had a few of my own. So I want to get into some of these questions. How do you suggest men go about dating in the social media climate?
Oh my gosh. You know what? The first thing I'm going to say is be mindful of yourself first. Be mindful and be intentional. What is it that you're looking for when you're dating? So write it down. Write it down what you want. I'm telling you. Listen.
Write down what you want. What in a relationship?
In your person, in the relationship, the characteristics, the attributes that they may have. I'm telling you, 3 years ago, Fred, I wrote down. I started to write down. Write down what I wanted. And over the last few years, I've been, adding to it. And now I have a person in my life that's 90% of that list. So I was intentional, and I believed that what I wrote I could have, and I knew I could have it. So you have to be intentional. Are you looking for a friend? Are you looking for a friend with benefits? Are you looking for a wife? Like, what are you really looking for? And not even as it ties to social media, but in general, right? Yeah. But with social media out there, I will say this: be mindful of what you follow. Be mindful of what you allow into your spirit. Be mindful of what your intentions are, and tell the fucking truth. A lot of times people are out here and they're dogging people out for no reason. Like, that's why you got hurt men and women out here that are sitting up there. Oh, F love. I don't want to get married. Marriage ain't for me. This is that. But at the end of the day, it's because of the hurt that somebody may have caused them, or self-sabotage that they caused themselves. Right. But be like, cause I have, I'm a certified counselor. I have couples that I counsel. I have individuals. I also have a lot of poly couples that I counsel. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So especially with if we're being truthful about our own history and our own ancestry, then that is a life. That was the way of life back then. So yes, absolutely. So a lot of us are embracing that and encouraging it, and going more towards that direction. Even though society puts it out there like you have to be monogamous, quote unquote, but that doesn't always work for everybody. You know what I mean? So I feel like people should do what they want, what was best for them, as long as they're not hurting anybody physically or mentally, and as long as they're telling the truth. Like a lot of men want to be poly, but they think it's about sex, and it's not. Sex is the last on the totem pole. It's about encouragement. It's about
poly's not about sex, like having sex with other people.
That's I feel like that's at the bottom of the list. It's about encouragement. It's about community. It's about structure. It's about, generational wealth and health. It's about a community. It's about a tribe. You know what I mean? It's about unity. But of course, and I know poly couples that don't even engage like that sexually. Okay. So they have their community, they have their compounds, they have their tribes, and some of them don't.
So now, this is me, I'm slow. What's the point of being in a poly relationship if it's not to have sex? Because you always can have friends and tribes.
I just told you. But it's about community, it's about unity.
Right?
Well, no, because some people have compounds where, they have like multiple people, they have different families and houses and everything on the same land. Some of them do engage physically, some of them don't. Right. So it's about generational wealth, generational health, community, unity, solid. Like you know what I mean. There's strength in numbers. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it goes back to it takes a village. You know what I mean?
Right. So,
but let me go back to that. So, guys, if you're looking to have poly relationships, ladies, if you're looking at poly relationships, tell the truth. All that, and people be like, oh, well, you're in a poly relationship, you just don't know. No, that's not a poly relationship. That's you cheating if you fell in a committed connection. They don't know about each other. Like one of my spiritual brothers, he's poly. Mm-hmm. all his wives, they know about each other. They all mix and mingle. They're a family. You know what I mean? But the difference is that a lot of these dudes out here aren't being honest. And a lot of these women nowadays, especially if we're being realistic, because of the ratio of 100 and something women to one man, a lot of them are more open to it now. Guys, tell the truth. And if she don't want to flow along with the ways that you want to live your life, then exit left stage. Stop lying, though. A lot of these adults be lying, Fred. That shit's exhausting.
Yeah. I think men lie in regards to that because they don't feel like nobody's gonna go for that, and they might really like the person and wanna. It ain't right, but they may like the person and want to keep them, but they like some men like I'd rather cheat and just deal with that than to lose this person by trying to open this door.
Yeah, it's true. And let me just say this really quick. A lot of people, men and women, they will lie based on how they grew up because they might have gotten in trouble when they were younger. And so they didn't want to get in trouble. So now a lot of them have that little boy, little girl mindset. And what happens is they bring it into their adulthood because they never felt like they were safe enough to tell their truth. Okay. So that's the reason why a lot of them lie. It's a psychological thing. It's actually trauma. Why a lot of people lie today.
Let me ask you this. Why do you think so many women complain about toxic masculinity, but the same women are attracted to the dominant, borderline aggressive man, but they complain about toxic masculinity?
The women that complain about that, I feel like those are the women that want to control everything in the relationship, including the man. You know, when a woman, and this is anybody, but we're speaking about women right now. When a woman wants to control something and she's not able to, then a lot of times she lashes out. She acts out. You know, she'll attack. She'll belittle. She'll accuse. So you know, it boils down to you know, her own perspective, her own mindset, and her own psyche. So if a woman feels like she doesn't have control of her life, or something may have happened to her as a child, and so she feels like, you know, like psychologically out of control, or her life is out of control, she ain't going nowhere, then what happens is they always want to control things. I promise you, because like I said, and y'all know I'm gonna keep it all the way truthful, right? Like I said, I was born into trauma. Okay, I was born into trauma. I was born, like I said, my mom was doing her thing. I was born a drug addicted baby. They said I was never going to thrive. They said I was always going to have learning disabilities. I was always one of the smartest in the class. Ain't nothing ever been wrong with me. My health is perfectly fine. So this is the thing, right? But on the flip side of that, traumatically, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, I felt like I was out of control. As a kid, I felt like I didn't get the structure and the stability, right? So when I was with my ex-husband, I always found myself wanting to control everything. Because everything that I grew up around, it was chaotic. There was no structure. So I always felt out of control. So I wanted to finally control something.
Right.
Yeah. These bitches.
You're speaking from understanding, being that person and understanding that. Okay.
Absolutely. I know I was wrong.
So how do men handle if they're in a relationship with somebody who just has to control everything, but they really like the person, they like everything about them, but that part, she wants to control everything.
You have to call her out. You guys have to call these women out. You have to call them out. You cannot pussyfoot around it. You cannot sit up there and be like, oh, happy wife no, fuck that. Ain't no happy wife, happy life. We're not going to sit up there and be pussyfooting around the issue. We're going to call her out. And this is the thing. If she wants to fix herself, then she can and she will. You could be a support system, but you can't fix her. But also, if she's in denial that she needs to fix anything, you got to disperse. She's never going to give you the woman in her that you want her to be. Even though she could have a great heart, she's never going to be that because she doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with her. And anybody that feels like there's nothing that in themselves that needs to be fixed or that they can level up on is somebody that's too hard-headed to be able to give wisdom to, and they won't change until they're ready. I didn't change till I was ready. I was a mess.
You had people or people you dated telling you like this something's wrong with you, and you still was like, no, it's not.
Yeah, see, I was, fun fact, a lot of people, I was married for almost 25 years.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
So I got the stars, the stripes, the purple hearts, you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm a soldier in this thing.
Yeah.
So it's like this, Fred, you know, because I'm gonna be transparent with y'all. Y'all know how I do. You know, I started to really get with myself spiritually. So I started to figure out who I really was spiritually, right? And so I saw things in myself. I saw the anger. I saw the resentment. I saw the bitterness. I saw the control. I saw the, belittling that I would do, the backbiting, the running my mouth. You know what I mean? So the more I started to go to therapy, and then I was journaling, so I was doing my certain things as far as therapy, right? And then towards the end of the 25-year marriage, I really started to level up, and I was just like, no, I was adamant about changing for the better. And I did it, you know what I mean? And so after we dispersed of the connection, I really started working myself to see where I was. And it's like, wow, I was wrong for some of the things that I said. I was wrong for some of the things that I had done. So I called him. I was like, hey, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm calling because I see certain things that I said and I did that when we were together. I said, I'm calling, to ask for your forgiveness and to apologize. And I'm taking accountability for myself, and so, like that's how it went. Yeah.
So do you feel like therapy is the way to fix that? Like if a female is controlling, how do she, or a male, if somebody's controlling, is that something you could just let go? Or how does somebody go about fixing that?
Most people have been in that mind frame and in that and had that perspective for years. So sometimes it takes a while. It took me, I want to say, like, before I got a breakthrough, it took me like over a year. And I was adamant. I was adamant, though. So I'm going to say this to your question about therapy. No, therapy is not the only thing that can fix it, because you can go to therapy, but if you're not self-aware, then it's still not going to work. You can go to therapy, but if you're still in denial, it's not going to work. You can go to therapy, and if you still got fuck people around you, it's not going to work. There is environmental stuff. There is therapy. There is your own self-awareness. There is your own belief system, your own mindset, your perspective. And so, there's a lot of things. It's like a gumbo. It's like a gumbolation of healing that needs to take place. And so they can't be in denial. They have to be willing to look at themselves. They have to be willing to tell the truth. A lot of people let me tell you this, a lot of men and women that go to therapy, but they won't tell the truth. So then it really won't help them. So you have to. I had to cut off certain family members. Some of them probably watching right now. I love y'all, but you know what I had to do to get where I'm at right now. So I had to cut off certain family members. It wasn't conducive to where I wanted to be. It wasn't conducive to where I was supposed to be going, where God wanted me to be. So there, like I said, you got to, sometimes you can't talk to certain people. If you do, sometimes you can't talk to them as often. You have to really know yourself to where if somebody says something about you and it's not true, you got to be okay with that. You got to let it roll off you like water off a duck's back. Because what happens is people that are weak, that don't know who they are yet, they let everything stick to them. So all these words, all these disregards, all this hurt, all this pain, they just let it stick to them. And a lot of times they don't even call people out on it because they don't know who they are yet. So they take bullshit.
They don't know who they are, so they don't know what they're accepting.
That's right. Or either they don't know who they are yet, and so they appease people, and they're a people pleaser. You will not get to your destiny in life if you're a people pleaser and appeaser. Ask me, because I used to do it.
Okay, so let me ask you this: is the rise of female independence making long-term relationships harder, or are men just falling short on adapting?
You know what? Okay. So when it comes to this, you can be a humble, successful woman. But society has put it out there and pit women over men, and they think they better than men. They think just because they got a certain status, they think because they're around certain people, they think because they make a certain amount of numbers, they think because they got their bachelor's or doctorate, they think that these things are what makes them. So the women that thinks that a degree and who she's around, if they think that that's what makes them, he's never going to be able to get anywhere with her. He's never going to be able to get anywhere with her because she thinks that she's better than you. Okay. Right. I know them. I've seen them, especially I lived in Atlanta. So, the men down there are bombarded. I pray for y'all The men, oh, I'm my boss, bitch. I'm this, and everybody looks the same. They all got the same fucking wig. Their nails look the same. Their face look the same. They got the same BBL. That shit's crazy. And listen, hey, more power to you, sister. That's what you want to do. But stop thinking that you're over the man. Stop thinking that you're over other people. They so, ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
So
I don't want to know no truth. Don't ask me.
Nah, we want the truth. This is what I like. You doing exactly what I wanted right now. You're doing exactly what I wanted. So, okay, I want to take it to sex, right? So, why do so many couples have dead bedrooms after a few years?
Okay. We going there. Okay, I love it. Because we going. I can't wait to come out with my Char's Red Room. We gonna have some after dark talk, so y'all gotta stay tuned for that. Oh yeah, because we spice everything up. Okay. Okay. So this is the thing. A lot of women and a lot of men, they have childhood trauma where they were essayed or that somebody touched them or was inappropriate towards them. And as you know, a lot of men are speaking out now because the older women were doing things to them when they were younger. And we know that with women, it happens a lot with family members, friends, older cousins, like, you know what I mean? So some people have had things done to them and they have not dealt with it. And also they are so ashamed of it, they don't tell their partners. Okay. So there's that angle. Then you have like the video I posted earlier with the grandma telling the granddaughter, oh, well, you're just supposed to lay down when you want to and don't lay down with no broke man. Why would you tell her? Now you're setting her up for failure. So when she gets with her husband, when she finds a husband and they, you know, they have this intimacy portion of their partnership, and she's saying that she's going to only give it when she wants to. But then, and I'll never, ever, I will never agree with anybody cheating on their mate if they're in a committed relationship or a marriage. Right. But don't expect that man to not have temptation. Don't expect him to not step out when you're sitting up here causing it. So this is the thing, ladies. You self-sabotage. When you sit there, the power of the P. Oh, I'm only going to do it when I want to. This is my body. It's my body. It's my body. Okay. So then when he looks at Lucy Lou and Fluffy Foo over here, don't be mad at him. Don't be mad at him, because at the end of the day, you self-sabotage by not doing what you're supposed to do in that bedroom. And furthermore, even heightened, even more heightened than that, when you tear him down, he's no longer even attracted to you. And y'all heard me say this years ago. True. A lot of men do not have ED. It's that bitch's mouth.
That's the truth.
He ain't got no ED. It's your mouth. He's no longer attracted to you. And if bitch offends you, baby, if the shoe fits, wear it. Wear it. If it ain't you, baby, then let it slide. Let it ride.
Yeah, I feel like because a lot of men are more mental. You know, it's like how you make him feel turns him on more.
Be soft. Be sensual. Encourage him. Send him videos, send him pictures, send him voice messages, send him tell him you waiting when he get home. You know what I mean? Fix yourself up. Stop going out to the club and out in public looking all fine. Then when he get home, you looking raggedy. You sitting up on the couch. The house don't smell like no damn food. Your feet look raggedy. Ladies, keep your feet done. Your feet look raggedy. You want him to spend money on you every week, and you want him to take you shopping. Half the shit, you got an addiction. Half the shit that he done bought you don't even fucking wear.
Come on.
It's crazy, but be soft, be sensual, like you take care of that bedroom, take care of that kitchen, you know what I mean, like you know, like listen, I do it all. I cook, I clean, I bathe this man. Listen, three and four, sometimes I cook 3 and 4 times a day. And sometimes it's a 10-course meal. Like, ladies, if you need help cooking, I'm a chef, I got you. But you know, it's and I take care of that bedroom. He ain't never gonna have to walk away unsatisfied ever. And bitch, if you don't know what you're doing, you better learn. And stop saying I don't want to. But girl, you better get your milkshake. The fuck is you talking about? Fuck is you talking about? No, I'm serious, Fred. We being for real, right?
Facts. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Milkshake. What are you talking about?
Do you think that when sex in a relationship, right? Let's say a long-term relationship. Let's say they've been together 7, 8 years, right? Mm-hmm. Is sex something that should be given whenever requested, or is it okay to deny your partner.
And this is a fun fact about me. I'm a sex therapist too, and so these are the only three,
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
these are the only three reasons. If she has an acute physical illness, if she has an acute mental illness, or if there's been a death in the family. Other than that, bitch, get on your knees or lay down. You're gonna do something. I'm serious, because what are you talking about? You're not giving it to him. Is you crazy?
Right.
Crazy? Like
so the man's not wrong for a man's not wrong for, let's say, breaking up, filing for divorce, if that's the only thing that's, let's say she's perfect everywhere else, but she don't want to give it up like that.
You know what? It boils down to what the man will accept.
Right.
And there's different seasons and eras, though. You know, like he may have been able to accept that shit, 3 or 4 months ago when you was going through something, right? He may have been able to accept it when you was, you know what I mean, when you was sitting there depriving him, and excuse me, because y'all got into a little argument. If you get into an argument, bitch, get on your knees and go to sleep. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway,
get on your knees and go to sleep.
Y'all know I'm a comedian. I'm a comedian.
Right.
Listen. So and I get a lot of people that come to me for this type of help, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if you bring it up to her once, twice, 3 times, and you're telling it to her and she's not getting it, then I feel like you should bring in a third party. Whether you come in to me as a counselor or somebody else, try to get a third party. Don't talk to your family, your friends about it. Like, that's some bullshit right there. But you know what I mean? Just
so you don't agree with people talking to their friends and family about their relationship?
No.
That's bad.
No, especially about the bedroom. Like, don't do that. Like there's like, like I have like a friend, I have a cousin, like, we'll talk about surface stuff, but ain't gonna be no details or nothing like that. You know what I mean? So, we'll vent or whatever, we'll talk, but there's nothing that's going to sacrifice. I will never say anything that's going to sacrifice him looking bad to them. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I may ask for advice or get a perspective, but it's going to be, okay, I did this and he did this. What you think? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like in depth or anything like that. But I will say, get with a third party. And if you feel like, after a few times that you feel like you still are not getting fulfilled and you feel like you want to disperse.
Yeah.
That's on you. You have to do what's best for you, no matter what it looks like to anybody else. She may not like it. Her parents, people may not like it. But at the end of the day, she's not holding up her end of the deal. You vowed to take care of her, to protect her, to show up for her. And it's funny because a lot of bitches want head, but they won't give it. That's crazy work.
That's crazy work for sure.
Like, what are you talking about? But some men fall for that stupid shit. They still be doing what? You over here like on your belly like an army soldier, and she ain't got a room in 8 months. What the fuck is you talking about? You low crawling. The fuck is you talking about? Huh?
Okay, so should cheating be the end of a relationship, or should that be something that should be worked out?
That is something that is always left up to the individuals in that predicament, in that situation. Because I can say, oh, I wouldn't be, we've said, oh, I couldn't do it. And then lo and behold, something happens like, oh shit, I forgave them. I really forgave them. We really trying this again. So I feel like if both parties are in it to win it, and they really are wanting to work it out, and they're going to be committed to one another and do their best to do that, then of course it can work. Right. This is the thing. A lot of people have asked me this question, and it boils down to the individuals working together. One person can't want it and the other one not, because then it's not going to work. Both parties have to equally be in it to win it together. You cannot sit up there and say that you want to work it out, and then you're not putting in the effort, whether you're the cheater or the cheatee. Right.
So my thing is, so how about this? Let's say somebody's in a relationship, and the person they're with is the perfect person, right? Whatever it is that they're looking for, cook, clean, whatever. But they just don't feel the spark. Like the things that they like to do, they don't really. An example. They don't like the same shows. They don't like the same music. They don't. They just don't click that way. But the surface level things of a perfect person, they are that. This person will go out of their way for them. They cook, they're clean, but when when they're together, the spark just ain't there.
Yeah, and that's
Should the person seek help to figure out how to make that work, or should they follow their spirit and let that person go?
You know what? Because this is the thing. If you are with somebody and it's been some years, right, and you guys are still on a surface level and y'all still can't find a median to where y'all can connect over general things, then what are you really doing? Because nobody that's logical wants to spend the rest of their life with somebody who's surface level with them. You know, we're as humans, most of us are always looking for something deeper. We're looking for deeper intellectually, deeper spiritually, deeper physically, deeper emotionally with our person. You know what I mean? So, and there are exercises that you can do. You can do exercises, and there are games out there where you can connect deeper with your person. But like I said, it falls onto both parties. Like my person, emotionally, physically, mentally, like we just there. It's deep. There's depth to it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, some people, and let me say this too, some people have so much trauma to where they're not able to connect on that deeper level. And also, let me say this. You remember when we used to have to take the comprehension test in school? So some people can hear what you're saying. They can hear what you're saying, but they don't comprehend it. So, and I've talked about this for years, and I told you guys, a lot of y'all are stuck in relationships with women that don't comprehend you because you're on a different intellectual level, a different educational level, a different level of understanding. So you just keep on feeling like you're hitting the wall, but it's because she does not understand you. She hear you and she want to understand, but sometimes that elevator don't be going all the way up to certain levels. I'm serious. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the fact that you guys aren't compatible in that sense. You know, so a lot of guys end up frustrated because they feel like they're not understood by their person, but sometimes it's just the fact that her elevator is not, reaching to where yours is.
Is there any way to forgive and correct an abusive partner?
That abusive partner has to do their own correcting. That is not up to the one that's getting abused.
So that's something that can change, though. That shouldn't be
absolutely.
Okay.
I've worked with couples. I've worked with individuals for years, over 15 years, and absolutely, there are many couples who, you know what I mean. The first time it happens, second time it happens, it's like, oh, okay, like this ain't what it is, and they go to counseling together, or either that person gets, help with anger or disappointment or whatever that, because the anger is from a place. The anger ain't just anger. The anger is from a place and space inside of that person. So that's the thing about me. I'm a root puller. So when I get individuals on the line, I go straight to the root. I don't do surface level. We don't do surface level over here. We go straight to the root. That's how I'm so successful in doing what I do now in counseling, because I go to the root spiritually first. So that being said, it's up to the person who wants to stop doing the abuse, but also the person on the receiving end has to put their foot down. You can't accept it. If they do it, you're gonna have to disperse of the connection. And if they fix them, if they want to work on themselves, that's one thing. But there has to be a pattern of them actually doing that. A lot of times, there's the cycle. Because and fun fact, like I told you, I was married for almost 25 years. Like if anybody could hate men, I could, because in all those 20 years, there was a lot of physical things that went on. Okay.
Sure.
But let me say this though, because I have to take responsibility for my portion, because there were times I was poking the bear. There were times where I was the aggressor. There were times where I said shit I shouldn't have said. You know what I mean? It wasn't always all the time, and I'm not making excuses for him, but I'm saying we were 15 and 16 when we got together. We were two traumatic individuals that got together that created chaos sometimes. You know what I mean? It wasn't all bad. And let me just say that, because every single time I'm somewhere and our marriage comes up, I always give him his flowers, because regardless, still has a good heart. One of the most genius minds on the planet, well-read, intelligent, but the choices and the decisions weren't right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I say that to say this really quick. Stop talking bad about your exes. Just because he's my ex and because we went through shit doesn't mean I'm gonna sit up here and bash him. If anybody could hate me, I could. There was so much shit that went on physically, it wasn't even funny. Okay. But at the end of the day, I took responsibility for my portion. I forgave him for what he did. And I know that it was the root of his trauma and his drama. I'm not excusing it, but I'm saying I know where it came from. So therefore, I no longer carry that unforgiveness for him. And so I say to the men and to the women, stop talking bad about your exes. You have to ask yourself, what did I learn about myself? What did I learn about relationships? What did I learn about the world by being connected to that person? Because it wasn't always bad.
Right.
What did you learn? And level up from that and get the fuck on. But stop bashing your exes online, talking about you hate your father, your baby's father, and your baby's mother. Somebody just said on my post today, yeah, I hate that bitch. Like, okay, but you don't want to lay down with her. Besides that, you know, like, what does that say about you? You carrying that. You carrying that still.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that answered your question, but I had
no,
to say.
that's good. I actually was going to ask that. I was going to ask that. Like, what do you feel about people who are in new relationships, but they're constantly talking bad about their ex? Is that a red flag?
I don't even like the term red flag, but it's definitely something to think about, because I feel like for anybody that's talking bad about anybody, and I don't care if they did something to you,
right?
Like you got to choose to move on. You cannot stay stuck there. Right. Stop talking bad about other people.
Right.
Like see it for what it is. Okay, you no longer have to deal with that person, but that don't mean you got to sit up there and let your trauma rule your life. And that's what people do. That's what people do, Fred. They let their trauma rule their life. They be online, on internet, on podcasts, bad talk. Like they come on, man. Like, what does that say about you? Like, I'm more psychologically and emotionally intelligent than be sit up there running around talking bad about. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't stand people that do that. For that hits a chord. Like, don't do that stupid shit. And I'll call them out too, and they be mad.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people deal with that. They're with somebody and they're constantly talking bad about, man, my ex used to do this, my ex used to do that, you know. So it's like, is the other person, are they right for feeling like that's some type of abuse?
You're talking about the new person? You're talking about the new person?
The new person.
You know what? This is my thing. It's disrespectful.
Right.
It's disrespectful unless your new person wants to know something about your past or something like that, and you know, like you can share that if you want to, but I feel like it's very disrespectful to talk to your new person about the old. Like, that's just crazy. That's crazy. Somebody said the subliminals be worse, don't it? I didn't talk about that for years. Yeah, they be online. Oh, such and such and so and so. Oh, you should have. We know who you're talking about. We know that you was married for 40 years. Now you over here bashing the man. Yeah, so I would say just don't do it. Just don't do it.
How should the partner handle that?
The new partner, they gotta call it out. Everything is about communication. You have to call it out, and it doesn't mean that you can be like, oh, you did. No, you could talk to somebody, be like, hey, babe, you know, like I keep on hearing that you bringing up your ex, you saying all these different things, and matter of fact, that man ain't even here to defend himself. So you know what I mean? If you need to get something off your chest, I'm here to listen. But as far as you bashing him and keep on bringing him up, you know, like let's not do that. So communication.
So, you know, we talked about physical abuse. What are some signs of mental abuse in a relationship? What's mental abuse? How do you know if you're being mentally abused in a relationship?
She's belittling you. She's talking down on you. She's calling you names. She talks bad about you to her family members. She points the finger and she blames you. What else? Name calling, rejecting you. That's mental abuse. Keeping sex from him, that's like way high level mental and psychological abuse. And I've been talking about this for years, and they don't like when I talk about it, but that is mental and psychological abuse, because you've already gotten him used to something and now you're pulling it away from him. That's right. Psychological and mental abuse right there. So keeping
using it as like a bargaining tool.
Yeah, they try to use it as a weapon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And or either even financially abusing. Like it's there's you know, yeah. I don't like when people abuse men. It really pisses me off, for real, in any type of way. I don't like it.
How do you suggest? What's the proper way to deal with a breakup? Like, do you seek help? Do you talk about it? Is it therapy? Like, what's the proper way to deal with a very bad breakup? Because, you know, a lot of people, you got suicide going on. You got, you know, people, men tend to just try and man up and just work harder and just grind harder. Women sometimes, you know, lean on drugs and partying and having sex with multiple partners. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not saying that's what each one does, but I'm just giving examples. Like, but obviously, I feel like those are the wrong things to do. What do you feel like is the way to deal with like bad breakup?
Yeah. So the first thing that you want to do, and I came up with this analogy years ago, and I call it feel, deal, heal. You allow yourself to feel it so you can deal with it. That way you can heal from it. And I don't believe anybody ever heals fully, because no matter what, the experience still happens. So there's still some remnants or shards or wounds there. You know what I mean? So I call it feel, deal, heal. So you let yourself feel it, whatever that looks like. If you need to cry, if you need to punch the pillow, if you need to go, if whatever way you need to get aggression out, you have to allow yourself to feel it. Okay. And okay, you got my water. and
I gotta mix it. I can't do the tequila all day. I gotta mix it. I gotta hit the water too.
I got you. So you have to allow yourself to feel it. And a lot of times, this is a lot of people's first and main downfall. They don't allow themselves to feel. I don't want to feel that. I don't want to cry. I don't want to hurt. You have to let yourself hurt. You have to feel that, so that way you can deal with it, so you can get past it. And you also have to start paying more and more. A lot of times people get obsessed with their ex once they break up. They start to stalk them. They start to look at all, they start to go through things and be hyper focused on them, if you will. So you have to really get with yourself. You have to be realistic with yourself. You have to be, if you have a good friends group, you have to be around people that can uplift you and support you, because that's one of the hardest times that you can go through. Because what happens is when somebody breaks up, especially depending on how long you've been together, it's like the fabric is ripped.
Right.
So there's all that trauma from that tearing apart of the persons. Okay. Right. So you got to be realistic with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. So you got to let yourself feel. You got to be around people that can encourage you. Don't isolate yourself. If you don't do it for a long period of time, because that in and of itself will cause you depression, anxiety, insomnia. And once you start that cycle, then that's how a lot of people end up offing themselves. Okay. Right. So there's nothing wrong with going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with being around people who really encourage you. But you gotta really be truthful with yourself. You gotta really start honing in on what it is that you want. I tell most of my clients are men, and I tell them all the time, write down what you want for your future, and then start working towards those things. Start looking at yourself in the mirror and speaking life over yourself. Speak encouragement over yourself. Affirm yourself. Get your confidence back. You have to do certain things, but also it comes in waves, right? So what works today may not work tomorrow. So you have to have different avenues of healing, of therapy. Sometimes you just want to get on the freeway and ride. Sometimes you want to go to the beach. Sometimes you want to go for a hike. Sometimes you want to run. So you have to do what works for you in those moments. And no matter what anybody says, you heal and get past it the way that you want to. And if somebody around you, this is one of the number one things too. If somebody around you is telling you, if somebody around you is doing that while you're going through that, get the fuck away from them. Do not talk to them, because people are so cold and so cowardice that they will make you do something to yourself because they're not supportive. Them ain't even your fucking friends. If they sit up there doing that and they tell, oh man, you need to man up. Oh fuck that. We going over here. Let that man go through that process. Let that woman heal. Let them go through let them go whatever they need to go through to get past it.
Yeah, because, and I'll speak personally about me. Whenever I go through any type of anything that I can't control, right? Because I feel like I've come to a point where I don't stress over things I can't control. But what I do is I hustle super hard, right? Whenever something happens in my life, I create something. I make something happen. I go make, I hustle super hard, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's good or bad, because I almost avoid things I need to maybe pay attention to, because I just get focused and I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna create a business. I'm gonna hit the gym hard. I'm gonna travel and go it. So it's like I level up in hard moments in my life. I actually level up in a way, but then sometimes I feel like that thing I can't control. Because if I can control it, I man up and I run towards it, right? I jump in the pool. I jump in the pool head first. But if I can't control it, I usually find myself making some type of moves or doing something new or taking up on a new goal or writing more goals. So I don't know if that's good or bad, and I know a lot of men go through that. Like we ain't gonna sit there and cry and all that. You know, we're gonna man up and make moves. And do, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's good or bad though. So what's your take on that?
I don't think that it's neither good or bad, but there has to be a balance. You know what I mean? There has to be a balance. You know what I mean? If you're going through something, you're running after something 5-6 months, you chasing after, you making stuff happen, you execute that thing, but then you have to self-reflect. You have to self-reflect. You have to be self-aware. So as much as you racing towards something and you getting it done, you also have to be so self-aware. It's like, oh, okay, well, okay, I achieved this. Okay, let me self-reflect. Like, what is it that I need to do, like, as far as helping my internal self right now?
Right.
You know, I already started this business. I executed that. Okay, I done set this goal. I done made this amount of money. Okay, so what am I doing for myself internally, psychologically, mentally, emotionally? Do I still have good people around me? How am I to myself? Am I still showing up for myself, even though I'm showing up for myself? Am I showing up for my mental health, my mental wellness? Am I being positive? Am I getting a big ass head and cocky because I done made all this money and I done executed this thing now? What am I? So still take care of yourself. There needs to be a balance between you getting after it and then getting after it.
Right. Facts. Okay, so I want to ask you this. Do you feel like marriage is still a good deal for men since the women usually favoring the divorce? Like nowadays, is that still a good situation for men? I know a lot of men are scared to get married nowadays because it's like at the end of if it don't work out, they're gonna end up taking the L. So how do you feel about that?
You know what? It's always gonna be individualistically, right? And I know that a lot of men nowadays, they don't tend towards, they shy away from getting married nowadays. And it's sad, but also, I don't think that, people understand that, like legally to get certain things done, you have to have that piece of paper, right? But you can be with somebody for years and years and years and never have a piece of paper attached to you. Right. So I feel like everybody has to do what's best for them. And I also feel like things, if the man or the woman, if they have certain assets or success or whatever financially that they want to protect, I feel like there has to be something in writing. And it's sad that it's come to this, but because you have these weak ass women out here who like to take men for half, or they'll even set out to get the man in order to be with him for a while to take the money. They are cunning sometimes, snaky, cunning, slimy. So, it depends.
Men are scared.
Yeah, absolutely. And rightfully so, because look at how so many men are being taken for half or even more. And then, you know what I mean? They're left high and dry. And then also, it also, as far as the family unit and their children, it also sets them up for failure in that way, because a lot of times what happens is the courts will rule on the mother's side and they'll give the children to the mother. You know what I mean? Not knowing that dad was the one that was cooking and cleaning and doing everything. And she was sitting up here not doing a damn thing, but he was like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot to take into consideration, but I will say, you know what I mean, that everybody has to do what's best for them. I believe that if you want to get married, I believe that marriage is a great and beautiful thing, but also, just know that it's always going to be a risk because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a gamble either way.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your thoughts on women wanting equality but still expecting the man to pay for everything?
It's bullshit. It's bullshit, because how do you want equal rights and everything, but then, and let me just say this, because there are some women out here who the man will buy them stuff that they want. They will show up for them. They will take care of them. And then when she gets a little piece of when she gets a little coins, a little money in her bank account, she don't do nothing for that man. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's sickening and it's sad, And I post about this often, where I feel like women should really step up financially. If you got it, then you're supposed to spend on him. I just believe that. I believe that. You know, like it's random stuff. Like, you know, it doesn't even have to be anything big. Like if you know that he loves the Raiders, go get him some season tickets. Go get him tickets to the, you know, a game that you know he's gonna want. If you know that he likes a certain water, like go get on Amazon and send a case to him. You know what I mean? Like you know. Mm-hmm. Mine is out of town right now, so yesterday he didn't have to ask. I sent him like $100 worth of groceries. Like, you know, it's just
fire. That's fire.
Like, come on, like it's not that hard. But a lot of women are so fucking selfish, and they think it's all about themselves. To where, you know, it's sad. So guys, you have to notice this. Like when you're a giver, and you guys hear this all the time. When you're a giver, you have to be with someone that gives, or else you're gonna feel bitterness and resentment, because you're gonna feel like you always got the shitty end of the stick, short end of the stick. But you know, we as women have to be more mindful and show up for men financially. Like if I got it, he got it. I don't care. I don't care if he got $1 million in the bank. Right. I know that he had money last week. I still here's $25. Go get lunch. Here's $25. Go get some water and some fruit. Like come on, like
that's dope. That's dope.
It's little stuff, like, you know, and his mom passed away recently. So you know, yeah. So it's like it was something simple, but at the end of the day, it was just glorious, right? Because I got a picture printed out of him and her, and wow. It was her favorite saying on it. You know, she had the saying that she would say, and then I put the quote on there, and so when everything was already set up in the room. When he went to the bathroom, I had candles around. I had the picture on the counter. Mm-hmm. And so it's simple gestures, but it makes a big difference. Like he's never going to forget that. He's never going to forget that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's doing the little things that mean so much, whether you're a man or a woman. This is just everybody being selfless towards one another, because it's, you know, it's so much out there in the world where people just treat us wrong and reject us all the time. When they come home, you need to be accepted. You need to be invited. You need to level up when it comes to them. Always look for ways to serve your person. Always. And let me say this. I'm sorry, I'm long-winded a little bit sometimes.
I like it. No, let's go.
Let me just say this. Stop thinking that it's always about you, girl. Stop thinking that it's always about you. You think that it's always about you, and that you got to be the center of attention. And so you sit up here and you think that he's always supposed to pour into you. Pour into him. Write him a letter. Write him a note. Put things in his lunch. Make him lunch. Mm-hmm. Make sure he made it, babe. Just making sure you made it to work. You know, so it's like, you know, be selfless.
Salute to you. Read this wrong. He been showing a lot of love. Appreciate the convo. Good shit. Salute. He said Miami is one of the worst cities to find love.
Oh my gosh. I'm hearing that Miami is like Atlanta a little bit, where it's like that. Mm-hmm. You got a lot of boss bees down there, huh?
Okay, so let me ask you this too as well, right? So, you know, when you get married, it's a you making a vow before God. It's a lot of things that kind of make you feel guilty if you feel like you need to leave, right? So let's say you're married and the first 10 years, you're who you thought you were with. You are with who you thought you were with, right? Yeah. But then let's say year 12, 13, they decide that they kind of are into other things now, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're like, you know, well, this isn't who I signed up for, you know. Now he or she's like, well, listen, I like, you know, I'm going to the club now, you know. Listen, I got my new group of friends. I didn't get to do this when I was younger. I felt held back. So now is the man? How should a man handle that? That's what I want. I'm gonna leave it like that.
So are you saying that the woman is choosing? Are you saying that the woman is choosing now?
Let's say now the woman is like, y'all been together for however long, but now the woman is like, you know what? Mm-hmm. I didn't get to do. I feel like I didn't do all this when I was younger. I got my new group of friends. We clubbing every night. We flirting with guys. We staying out late. We coming home late in the morning. Blah 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 blah. I still love you, but I just feel like I missed this part of my however you want to word it, right?
their younger days, their 20s.
Right. Maybe they was a early mom or whatever the situation is. How should a man handle their partner changing that far into their relationship? Should they dump the whole relationship, or should they how should somebody handle that?
It's a partnership, and both partners should be able to have their voice heard, and both partners have decisions to make. Okay. Excuse me. So that being said, as my brother would say, that being said, it depends on how the man feels about it. Some men, they actually put up with that. Some men, I would never see, but more power to you if that's what you like. But some men will accept it. Some men will accept it, and some men will accept it to a certain degree. And some men they're like, oh, I'm confident, I'm comfortable, let her go off and do her thing. She's coming home to me, da 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 da. So I feel like it boils down to the compromise that you're willing to make, the respect, the level of respect that you have your person, and also the person that's doing it, their mindset and their perspective. So there's a lot of different moving parts when it comes to that. You know what I mean? But then let me just say this. Like I said, if he does not want me to do it, I'm not doing it. If he does not want me to go, I'm not going. If he does not want me to wear it, I'm not wearing it. That's my own perspective. That's my own mindset. I'm not doing it because I respect him. I care about him and I love him. And I never want him to feel rejected or that I'm being disrespectful towards him. That's how I operate.
Right.
But some of these out here, the reason why I made that decision is because I respect myself. But a lot of these little grown girls out here, they don't respect themselves. They don't even know what it's like to respect themselves. So therefore they operate differently. And what happens is they, like you said, they flirt with guys. So they operating like they single, but then they want him to pay for everything. They want him to accept all their bullshit. They want him to accept their fucking attitude. They want him to accept them going out with the girls. They want him to accept them going out on girls trips. But that boils down to the person that she really is. You understand me? Mm-hmm. I respect myself and I respect him. So if he don't want me to do it, he don't want me to, I'm not going. I don't need to be around them bitches anyway. I don't even have a lot of female friends. I never have.
Right.
Yeah, right. No. So the grown little girls that are going out and doing that and thinking that is cute. And then what they do is also they put themselves in a predicament that causes people to disrespect them, that causes people to look at them a certain way. And then they want, oh, well, they did this. Oh, and they want to get all in an uproar. You presented yourself that way. Right. Stupid. You presented yourself that way. I'm going to call spade a spade. That way. So looks like a duck, acts like a duck. They're going to treat you like a duck. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Here's
another one. Mm-hmm. Here's another one. So.
This is good, Fred.
Listen, this is my shit. I'm bringing. Listen, whenever we get another opportunity, we're gonna fly you out because I need you on the show.
Yeah, we gonna make it happen.
Make it happen. Okay, so here's this one right here. Right, you have a lot of people in situations to where they have kids, mm-hmm. right, and they've been together for however long. Let's say kids are in high school now, middle school, one high school, one middle school, however you want to put it. They not working though. They not working. And the one person is kind of feeling one or the other, or even both. They know it's not working, but they stay together for the kids. Is that the move in a relationship that's not working? Is the move to stay together for the kids?
I've talked about this for years. You are doing yourself and the children a disservice because no matter what. The kids feel that. They hear it when you don't think they hear it. They feel it spiritually. They feel the tension when you guys are going through stuff. And it's not always like that. Sometimes people do stay together and they end up being peaceful but 9 times out of 10 it ends up being so much worse for the children because the children are the ones that get the shitty end of the stick because they hearing all your backbiting, they hearing you complaining. Even if they don't hear you, they hearing you on the phone or when you're at the family member's house, you think they're in the room playing. So kids pick up on stuff in different ways. And the kids end up being the the traumatized individuals because y'all asses couldn't get it together and you didn't make a wise decision for them kids. You saying you're doing it for the kids, but you're really doing it for yourself, because in reality, on the back end of that, the kids end up being fucked up.
Right. Okay, that was solid. That was straight to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for real. And I know from personal experience like that. And I'm gonna just share this because y'all listen. I'm gonna just share it. I'm gonna just share it. And I don't think I've ever said this on an interview or online anywhere. But,
okay.
but there was a time where there was something physical going on in the house, and I was not able to release myself from the situation. And my son had to go outside of the window to call the police.
Damn. What?
So. And I've never said this online, so this is.
What you mean? He had to hop out. Go out the what? What you mean?
My son had to go outside of his bedroom window to go call the police because I was in a physical situation and I could not remove myself. I could not get myself released from the situation. So yeah, it's, you know what I mean. So when I say that, and I'm not saying everybody's situation is like this, but I'm saying that do not do your kids a disservice by just staying there, because they hear the argument, they hear the fighting, they see what's going on. So don't, you know what I mean? If you in a situation where it's not conducive and you guys can't get along, you guys then try to work it out, then you know, do what you got to do. Get your kids out of there, like for real, like seriously, because you know, like kids don't deserve that. They didn't ask to be brought here. So you got to be mindful of the kids, more mindful of their psyche and the future person that they're going to be, not the person that they are right now as a kid.
Right. Man, I appreciate you sharing that. I know that was yeah, I got a lot of respect for you.
I gotta keep it all the way real, Fred. I'm not, you know, I keep it real. I keep the truth. I'm always, you know, speak positive, but real is real and truth is truth. You know what I mean? So that happened.
Right. Damn. And you got through it. That say a lot to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
Now, you got men in situations, and I asked TK Kirkland this when we interviewed him, right?
Yeah.
When men are in a situation to where the mother is keeping them from the kids, but they want to be in the kids' life, but the mother's keeping them from the kids.
Yeah.
What should the man do? TK Kirkland said, start another family. I want to see what your thoughts is on that.
I mean, some people end up doing that, but at the end of the day, you know, a lot of times there are court proceedings. Okay. So that being said, I know a lot of men who have gotten full custody. I know a lot of men who are dads who are what do you guys call them? We don't call them single fathers. What do we call them? A father raising the kids by themselves. Anyway, single fathers. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of fathers who are raising their kids on their own. I know a lot of fathers who have joint custody. I know a lot of fathers who the mom walked out and didn't come back, so they could have the children. I know fathers who took responsibility for their girlfriend's kids or their wife's kids, and the wife or the girlfriend left and they still have the children, or the children end up wanting to stay with the father. So that being said,
so the kids stayed with the stepdad.
Yes.
After the mom left.
That's right.
Wow.
Yep. So, and shout out to all the fathers who are really showing up in their kids' lives. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing for real. Like, shout out to y'all. Seriously. We need more men to step up for these kids. Seriously. So that being said, go to court. Take that bitch to court. And show up. I know some of y'all don't have money to get a lawyer. That's the number one excuse. I don't have money. Okay, well then save it, raise it, do something. You have to find way. Educate yourself legally. You have to find ways to be able to show up in your kids' lives. And a lot of times the dads are so exhausted that they give up, but you cannot give up on your kids. That's your seed. Your seed. And also make sure you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Make sure you're doing everything across the board legally. So that way, when your time does come, it's a clean sweep.
Right.
And always keep record of everything. Keep the text messages, keep the emails, keep record. If you got to do videos, record her when she try to come over and get you have to keep record of everything, because you have to have something to present.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have witnesses, get statements from them and videos from them. You have to keep a paper trail. You have to keep track of things because it can get really ugly. But show up for court. Show up. Do not make excuses to not show. Show up for court.
Yeah, awesome. So I wanted to ask you, because of the profession that you're in, I'm sure you see this a lot. Do you feel like it's popular now or trendy now to misuse the words gaslighting, narcissist?
I hate those words. I hate the words, and I think I've used it on my platform. Out of the 7 years I've been doing this, I think I used it maybe 3 or 4 times. And I don't do buzzwords. I don't like the gaslight, the narcissist, toxic. All the. It's I deal with behaviors. So if I see you acting out in certain characteristics and displaying certain traits, then I already know what it is. I don't need to label it, but I know how to address the behavior. You know what I mean? So, I don't, a lot of people, and especially, and that's the reason why a lot of people respect me, because they know it's not fluffed up. Yeah. Across the board, this is what I do. This is what I do. This is my passion. God told me to do it. I'm doing it. This is my purpose. I'm doing it, right? But you see a lot of them, they'll get up there and put the makeup. See, when y'all see me, like, y'all gonna see me, like, sometimes I say stuff from my bed. Sometimes I say stuff when I walk around. Sometimes I say stuff I'm sitting right here. Sometimes my hair is done. Sometimes it ain't. Sometimes I'm in my nightgown talking. But that's because I chose to do that. Like, this is me across the board. Like, you're going to get it however, you're going to get the wisdom however I'm going to deliver it. But a lot of times they'll put, and I'm just saying, some of them that do it ain't fake, but a lot of them they'll get all dolled up and turn the camera and the ring light on and, then they get on there and regurgitate all kind of bullshit. And then like, after a while, like, people like, yeah, that seems fake. And that don't even seem real. You know what I mean? So for me, I just got to keep it real across the board. Like, I can't do the fake business. I'm not going to do it with y'all. Yeah, a lot of them, they'll get up there and be, their page will specifically be towards, oh, he gaslit me. He's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's a narc. He's a narc. And you know what? I learned that word, and I called my ex that one time. I called my ex that one time, and then after that, I was like, this is stupid. I was like, this is dumb. I didn't learn. The term.
I'm trying not to ever use the word.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, this is, so I don't like to use the word. It's just, it's something that people keep on putting out there, and those are the people that do that are the ones that don't think for themselves. They just sway along with the ways of society. And I'm very well read. I do research. I watch documentaries. I read books. I write books. So it's like I think for myself, society can't penetrate me.
Yeah,
they can't make me go along with that buzzword bullshit.
I like that. I'm the same way. When stuff is trendy and all that, like, it made me not want to even.
Exactly.
I'm so I not to be cocky, but I'm such a fly. You know who I am. When I see something's trendy, it made me not even want to do it.
Yep, we're going on the other side of the
park. All the way, man. I ain't using that word, none of that, man. You know what I'm saying? So
yep.
Okay, I'm about to get you up out of here, but I got a couple more, right? So boom, right? This was sent in. Okay, so we ain't gonna say the name. They say don't say the name. So, in a marriage, who should come first? The kids or the husband?
The husband.
Over the kids.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you why. I love this question. I'm talking about
listen, I wasn't sure if I should shout you out or not, so I'm gonna just ask the question. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, so the husband has to come first because he is the leader, he's the provider, he's the protector, he's the muscle of the home, he's the brain of the home, he's the wise man of the home. The man has to come first, and then the kids fall under that. This is the house right here. This is the house. This is the covering. This is the protection. The children have to fall under that because if the father falls, then what's going to happen with the kids? When the father falls, the entire kingdom falls. That's why he comes first. For y'all that don't want to submit, and y'all that don't want to come underneath his leadership, and y'all that don't want to listen to his wisdom, but you listen to your boss, your girlfriends, your family members, everybody else, he comes first.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm tripping. He said I could shout him out. Shout out my guy, Char. Okay, should women be submissive? You just said it. So should women?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
this is the thing. You know what I mean? Submission is not control.
Right.
It's not being controlled. It's actually respecting his wisdom. It's actually having confidence in his leadership, in his guidance, and his correction. I posted this a few weeks ago. I was like, I love, like I said, y'all don't like when y'all man correct you. That shit is so sexy. Like, oh shit. Yes, help me be better.
You don't like that.
I'm always about bettering myself. So sometimes, right. and he always does it in love though. So when he corrects me, I'm like, oh, you're right, babe. I apologize. I'm sorry. I love you. You're right. Thank you for that. Because I didn't see it. I didn't notice it. I didn't realize it. Maybe I was, acting impulsively. A lot of women act impulsively. So that's the reason why a lot of men have to correct. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, there's so much glory in submitting and not having to always be up here. And you could just like, right. But a lot of the women have not relinquished that control because they don't know who they are yet. Right. They don't know who they are yet. So they in that control. They want to have their hands in all the fires. They want to, I have a friend and his wife, she, he was telling her about how he was going to start to do his morning routine. And she was like, well, shouldn't you do it like this? Before he even started the regimen that he wanted to do for himself. It wasn't even her. And it was like, damn, I was like, wow, that's somebody wanting for real control and wanting to really just like, put some reins on you. But submission is so glorious. You don't have to be, let me say this too. Okay. Because I've been on my own since I was 16. Okay. My great grandparents passed away, both of them before I got 16. So I've been on my own. So me and my ex, we got our first place when I was 17, he was 18. So I've been on my own since I was 16 years old. Okay. And so because my great grandparents passed away, I had to go into survival mode. So I had to always fend for myself. Plus I was a little tomboy back then. And so I was, I just carried certain things because I was in survival mode a lot of the time. Right. Mm-hmm. So that being said, a lot of you ladies don't realize that you are a grown woman living as a little girl in survival mode. Baby, you are no longer in survival mode. You are no longer in survival mode. You are a grown woman now. So now you have decisions to make that where you're going to have to better yourself. You have to start to better yourself. A lot of ladies are in survival mode. And that's a woman that does not want to submit to her man, her husband, her spouse, her committed connection. That is a woman who is still living in survival mode. I'm gonna make a video about that after this.
Damn. Some women are living in survival mode in a relationship.
Yes. And that's the reason why they can't come underneath him. And furthermore, I've talked about this for years, Fred. Don't come into that man's life and don't stay with him if you're not going to submit to him, because why are you there if you're not going to submit to his wisdom and his leadership and his correction over you, his guidance over you? The fuck is you doing? That's you wasting his time. Get the fuck up out of here. Because there's a woman that's ready for him. And you sit up there holding up the line. You holding somebody's husband hostage, bitch. Get out of here. Fuck.
All right, so this is the last joint right here. So, actually, it's two more. My bad. One more. Two more. So, top 5 traits of a good woman for men to look for. Top 5. What are they looking for? If you can give them 5.
Patience. Her own peace. Her own joy. Because you don't want to be in a house with no miserable bitch.
Her own peace and her own joy. Can you explain that?
So let me. I'm gonna go. Patience, peace, joy, self-awareness, and self-control.
Okay, I got those.
Okay, but then I got to add number 6 with self-respect.
Self-respect.
Okay, so love, patience, joy, self-awareness, self-discipline, and self-respect. Because if she has her own patience, if she has patience built within her, then she can be patient with you. If she has her own joy, then she's not going to be making you fucking miserable because she's going to be good within herself. If she has her own peace, then she's going to add more peace to you. I said this on Ugly Money Show. A person, you're not called to be his peace. You're called to add layers and levels to his peace. But nobody's asking you to be that man's peace. He has to build that within himself. And when I say self-awareness, When I say self-awareness, if she's not self-aware, then she's always going to cause you drama because she's not self-aware. She don't know what she's doing. She's just blowing in the wind. Self-control, because bitch, you better be able to control yourself when you around me, when you're not around me. Self-discipline, because if she don't have discipline, then how is she supposed to help you build the empire?
Right. That was fire. Okay. For the females watching, what are 5 signs of a good man?
And it kind of goes along the same line.
Same.
Yeah, he has to have patience. He has to have patience because you guys have to be patient with one another. Okay. He has to have his own peace because you don't want nobody all, well, somebody might like that, but you don't want nobody all rah all the time when, you know what I mean? And for the wrong reasons. Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. He has to have self-control because because there's so much out there nowadays, if he just looking and you know, he just blowing in the wind, then 9 times out of 10, he gonna step out on you. Mm-hmm. Self-confidence. Because what happens is if you're a confident woman and he doesn't have his own confidence, then he's not going to like you to operate in your own confidence. Right. Right. And I'm going to say self-love because if he loves you, if he loves himself, then he's going to be better able to love you.
Final question. So with all of you're online like I'm online, all the relationship experts. Could you tell me what makes a relationship expert in your opinion?
I don't feel like anybody's a relationship expert. I don't feel like anybody's a relationship expert because everybody's relationship and every dynamic and every person is always different. Anybody that calls themselves a relationship expert, I don't even allow people to call me a relationship expert. They try to put that on me all the time. I won't allow it because everybody's individual. Everybody's an individual. There's always different layers and aspects to the relationship. And also we all go through things differently at different intervals individually. So that means it makes the relationship have to compromise itself because of what's going on within us individually.
Right.
Well, nobody's a relationship expert. Right.
I appreciate that. All right. So look, is there anything you want to leave the people with before we get up out of here?
You know what? I appreciate you, Fred. I have my favorites, but this is like one of the top 5s of all my interviews. Like seriously, we just.
I rock with you.
There's been a flow and just so much wisdom, so many gems. I feel like this is one. I don't know how you're gonna post it. This is one for the books.
Yeah, this one.
But it's just been glorious. Like it was just a flow. You know, it was just a flow. The way you do the questions, the way you set up everything, you know what I mean? You were natural at this. You know what I mean? And after we hang up with the people, I'm telling you, I didn't forget about you. I'm about to tell you some stuff spiritually about to happen.
Yeah, I need that.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. I am Char Curry, aka Says What She Wants, the #1 female advocate for men, but also a sister to women. I am an author. I am a certified counselor. I am an actress. I do all kinds of stuff. I have short films that I wrote, produced, and those are posted on my YouTube. I filmed those with Damon Von Zant, which is Ianla Von Zant's son. We worked on those together. But yeah, so these are my books. The first one is Mask, Why We Wear Them and the Effects They Have on Our Day-to-Day Lives. This one I wrote with my bestie. This one is about childhood trauma, parental heartache, forgiveness, and how to let people go. This one is my second book. Here You Go, Sis, The Blueprint to a Soul. That's my gorgeous daughter on the front, the gorgeous thing on the planet.
Wow. That's fire.
Thank you. And I do all the covers myself. So I did this cover myself.
That's dope.
Yeah, and so this one is about how to treat your man better. It covers all aspects of the man. It gives you the blueprint to his soul. This is my women's journal right here. It's called Unmasked, Accepting the Woman Within. I did this cover. And then my men's one, I'm sold out of that one right now.
Damn.
And then my other one is going to be out within like 3 weeks. It's about separation anxiety. Ooh, that one's deep. That one's deep. So yes, and you guys can find me at Says What She Wants on all platforms. Says, SAYS, not say, on all platforms across the board. We are almost at 1 million followers across the board. I'm super excited. Thank you. We're at like 950,000 all across the board. So thank you for having me. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And as always, anything that I can do to support, you got my number. You say the word, we can make it happen.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all already know this has been the I Say That to Say This podcast brought to you by M3S3. Shop with us, www.m3superior.com. We out. That was fire. That was fire.
Men make moves.
Sucker stand still.
And 3S3.